left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
You know, especially with the topics we got today. We're going to start off with Kamala. All right. And this whole thing, you know, she's blowing up the internet right now, big time. I mean, everybody, the support's coming in. And it seems like the entire Democratic Party is excited about the virtual presidential nominee, Kamala Harris. Say her name right. But while Kamala may have the majority of the Democrats on lock, she still needs to make a case to independents and people on the fence as to why we need to put an end to the MAGA movement, man, you know, and make her the POTUS. So we're going to help Kamala out by sharing the top 5 reasons Kamala must defeat Donald Trump. And reason number 1 is Project 2025. The projects.
Here we go again.
Projects, baby.
We've been talking about
Bringing us back to the projects. So if you've been hiding under a rock, you may not know about the 900-page document, better known as Project 25, that begins as soon as Trump takes office. Like, they ready to kick it off like yesterday. All right. Hold on. Problem with the audio.
Yeah, they're gonna start. They're gonna try to get it kicked off, but we ain't gonna let them do it.
But we're not gonna let them do it. They ain't gonna win.
Yeah. I'm saying we're not gonna let them do it, man. That's craziness. So yeah, he's not gonna get in there, man. We're gonna make sure that don't happen. And Kamala is a right person to make that happen. But good reason that not to vote. I mean, to vote for her is so you won't get that. You won't let Trump just centralize the government. You know, give him that total power that he wants under Project 2025. So, believe it or not, I'm not gonna read the 900-page document myself. You know, I'm gonna read the Cliff Notes like I got through college. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but it's some scary stuff in that document. And that's definitely a good reason to make sure she gets in office.
There's enough stuff in there to offend everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah. Everyone catches it.
Yeah.
A majority of them are his voters.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, clear to me. It just reeks of, again, reinforces my belief that they're basically in a cult, because they would literally vote for things that will absolutely affect them more than benefit them.
Oh yeah. And it's straight out the dictator's playbook. I mean, Hitler did the same thing in 33.
Exactly. I've said that.
Yeah.
I've said, and Hitler, his first go at his run, he ended up getting locked up.
Yeah, he sure did.
So he figured out how to do it the right way when he came back the second time, which was, you know, it was foul as all get up, but he ran that playbook, the same one. Everything Trump does mirrors
Nazi
Hitler.
Germany.
Nazi Germany.
Yeah. I mean, Mein Kampf was what Project 2025 is now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Basically. So a good reason. That's a very good reason to make sure you get her in office, you know, quick, fast, in a hurry, and get rid of the MAGA movement. Like you say, most of the people over there are blind. They don't want to hear it. But, you know.
When at the end of World War II, you couldn't find a damn Nazi. When you see those videos, it's like 1 million people there.
Yeah.
You go over there after they were defeated, all of a sudden nobody was a Nazi.
Oh yeah, they all moved to South America and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's it's scary stuff, definitely. So you want to make sure that we get Kamala in office and we vote for her, and make sure Trump don't. And he acts like he don't know what it is, like, which is the biggest lie in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? A document specifically written for you. You have no knowledge of it.
It was authored by people that had formerly been his aides and in his staff.
Yeah.
And he also they have Agenda 47.
Okay.
Now, Agenda 47 is supposed to be his platform. Agenda 47 mirrors a lot of the points that are in Project 2025. They just wordsmithed it.
Okay. I got to look. I haven't heard that Agenda 47. Is that part of it, or what
no?
Is that?
that is his actual campaigns, because the Project 2025 is authored by the
Heritage Foundation.
Foundation, the Republican think tank, conservative think tank. who support Donald Trump, and they're also the people that vet his Supreme Court justices. The justices they go to appoint and approve. They approve. They give their stamp of approval to things that the conservatives would do or Republicans would do. Because I still say, conservatives are one thing. They have principles.
Yeah.
These guys now, they just, they're not fiscally conservative. They're not. They want power.
Yeah, they go against what like you said that Republicans now go against what conservatives actually go by, which is they really don't like government being that much involved. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And here they're trying to take over the government completely and have all the power. So that's I'm with you on that. You got difference between conservative. I mean, I got a lot of friends that are friends of mine, and they're conservatives. I don't have any Republicans. I don't know if you remember, man, the last time you made that comment about the Republicans being racist. That's got to be one of our biggest streaming comments, man.
It's true. It's true though, right?
Yeah.
It's true. And so that's why, Kamala is not there's never going to be a perfect I don't think there'll ever be a perfect candidate for the majority of the people.
No.
Okay. We absolutely know that we have a person who is totally has no business trying to be in any office, public office. If you want to be in your business and be nuts, that's fine. But when you're trying to govern, it's government.
Yeah.
Government means that you have to have, you make concessions. It's like at home, with our families and our spouses.
Compromise.
We don't compromise. We don't always get our way. Probably wouldn't want to be in a situation where we always got our way, or we would be with somebody different. But these folks, they just, I think they revel in the power, and that to me is just, I say that power must be really intoxicating, because even to think that I certainly would not plan on being in no job at 80 something years old looking for another job.
Nah.
I'm like, nah, man, I done had a good run.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here.
All my I say arguments, arguments and discussions I've had with a lot of people on the right side, and they start talking about Trump. I said, let's forget everything that he's done. We know all the trials and everything he's done, but there's one thing we know he can't do to do this job, and he can't govern. I said, when COVID came up, he just did a horrible job at that. The one thing he should have governed and got at least that right was that
He wants to rule.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to govern.
Yeah. And I said he has to be able to govern, and he can't do that. That's just the number one reason.
Because it would require compromise.
Yeah.
And him, at his core, he's all about winning.
Yeah.
So he cannot compromise. He can't understand that a win doesn't mean totally annihilating the people you have ideological differences with.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And without that capability, I don't see how he's going to be able to be in office. Well, I never seen that at all. But that's the one thing, because I'm just tired of the back and forth. I'm not going to go back and forth. Well, if you say something about court, they want to bring up Hunter Biden, which still had nothing to do with Biden. But I'm just saying, but all they've always wanted to do is have something to say in the argument. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. Let me just have something to say back in the argument. But they ain't got nothing to say when it comes to governing, because he can't govern. And we know that for a fact. He messed up COVID. He told us it wasn't even out, even though he was taking all the medication and everything.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He got a shot.
He knew back, when it first came out back in November or something, they gave him the documents of it. They told him what the disease was, and he denied it. But he also made sure that all his 1% buddies knew it was coming and put their money, moved all their money in stock, so they made a whole bunch of money off of it. So no, he can't do that. So can't govern, and that's a good enough reason not to vote for him.
Well, Project 2025 is scaring the shit pants off of everybody out there. But one thing that's scaring the shit pants off of just the women is the women's rights and the abortion. So that's reason number 2 that we got to defeat Donald Trump is women's rights and abortion. So since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, the country's been debating over abortion rights. And many expect the next president to do something, right, to pass some type of abortion legislation that's going to have long-standing consequences at a federal level, right? Especially if it's Kamala, you know what I'm saying? If it's Trump, he might just leave it the fuck alone. Who knows? But Ace, what impact could Trump's policies have on abortion rights, and how could Kamala reverse the damage done by the Supreme Court?
Well, we're already feeling some of the effects of what Trump did with the Supreme Court reversing Roe versus Wade. His biggest thing was always sending it back to the states. You know what I'm saying? So, well, we're seeing how that's kind of affected us now. You know, one state you can get an abortion, another state you can't. It's all over the place. But if he gets in office, they really feel that he's going to push for a federal mandate to outlaw abortion, and that could be devastating to women's rights and devastating to women's health. What Kamala can do to reverse it is a couple of things. One, she could keep us from getting a federal mandate that outlaws abortion, but she can work towards reinstating Roe versus Wade, especially if she gets an opportunity to put more Supreme Court justices back into their office. That would be the perfect outcome of that. You know, she could do that. So that's a real good reason, especially if you're feeling strong about abortion, if you're feeling strong about women's rights. That's a damn good reason to vote for her, put her back in office.
But folks need to understand that it's not, abortion is not just a matter of having a one-night stand and terminating a pregnancy. You know, there's health implications.
Yeah.
There are situations where you have women carrying unviable fetuses. And so you're going to make them carry them to term and deal with that. The strength, the impact on their mental health is incredible. It has to be incredible.
Yeah.
In addition to, you have circumstances where it's either the mother's life or the child's life.
Yeah.
They also want to ban meprazole.
Yeah, I can't say that word either.
Yeah, with the pill, Plan B.
I know, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Plan B. They want to get rid of that, and there's also medical reasons why you receive that. They want to get rid of they want to get rid of it completely and totally, and just leave it up to nature and God.
Yeah, and we got the technology and the medication to do it. You know, we ain't throwing away no Viagra. Ain't nobody do it.
You know what I'm saying? And I that is the
know.
perfect argument.
Yeah.
A lot of these decisions are being pushed by older white males who want to control women, and nobody is saying, well, you got all these kids, and nobody's saying, well, okay, make all males after you make them register for the draft, get a vasectomy.
Yeah.
And they can go in and reverse it. If they can't reverse it, then it is God's will.
Yeah.
They ain't going to do that.
No,
Nope.
they ain't gonna do that at all.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, it's all an agenda. The census count. We don't want to be the minority. We know how, and I'm talking about, white people. We don't want to be the minority. So let's outlaw abortion, so we can just get the number up, the count up, and the census, so we can stay the majority here. You know what I'm saying? Just as long as we have the number. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. Why else do they want people to keep abortions? Like you said, women are almost dying over this. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, and they don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? But you talk to my mom, she starts talking about like back in the day when they were doing it. In the day in the story, this was something that was done good for white women who didn't want to have babies by white men. They had the money to do it. They can now get abortions. So it's really limiting them from doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to keep these babies. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to keep the number up, man. The population number up, so we won't become the minority. Because we shit on minorities in this country. It's basically what they look at. You know what I'm saying?
So it's difficult for me. It's difficult for them to justify that. You can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you really want to, hey everybody, if y'all want abortion to stay legal, all you young black men, start knocking up those young Caucasian chicks and watch how quick abortion becomes legal and approved quick. Nobody wants Emily to go off to college and come back with Jamal's baby after the first semester.
Yeah.
At that point, things will change.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want that hard to spell first name.
You know what I'm
Trying
saying?
to figure out what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? They don't want that hard to spell first name. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, we got some comments real quick on YouTube. So Steve McClintock's on. What's up, Steve? He says abortion rights is a must. We need to get a supermajority on the House and the Senate so we can protect our rights. Exactly. I mean, the state of Congress right now, They don't want to do shit. They don't want to agree on shit. They're so ineffective, man. And then, I mean, they want to blame the president for shit when they ain't doing shit. It's crazy. So, Steve, I got your point, man. And then we got Preston Totazal. I think I'm saying that correctly. He's just like LOL. He's probably laughing at Dr. Sizer over here with his crazy ass. And, you know, if you're on YouTube and you're enjoying these conversations, make sure that you click on that like button and also subscribe to Left Wing Kingz to see more of this content. And also share it on all of your social media platforms, all right? So the next reason why we got to defeat Trump, Kamala's got to get him. She's got to get him because of healthcare. So healthcare is a vital part of our lives, and those who depend on like the Affordable Care Act or ACA and things like Medicare need to pay attention to this election. This ain't no joke what's going down right now. So Ace, if Trump is reelected, what's the fate of ACA and Medicare?
Oh, man. I mean, you know, they still trying to repeal Obamacare, ACA. After all these years, they're still trying to repeal it. It's working. You know what I'm saying? It's working.
It's working better than Trump care.
Yeah.
That was coming out in 2 weeks, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So
you got more credit. I ain't give them that much credit on that damn plan, the Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Give more credit to me. Shoot.
The crazy thing is he's saying now that he's going to make it better. Well, he doesn't say how. He always gonna make everything better.
He'll make what better? You know what I'm saying? So they still trying to repeal Obamacare. They just can't let that man's name lay on nothing, can they? You know, they just gonna they just got to get. They're gonna erase his name, scratch his name out, and put their name on it. We just came out with
yes.
You know what I'm saying? But it's better because you know what I'm saying. It's got my name on top. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Basically.
But back to the question though. Yeah, you know. Repealing Obamacare is one thing that we don't want to happen. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I want to say, I think I read that not only Medicaid, but Social Security, they kind of going after both of them, but they want to take all of that away. And when they're doing all of that, that's just how in-depth or in bed they are with like big pharma and with the insurance companies and stuff like that. You know, I come from an era, and it sounds like a long time ago, but a long time ago, man, when we used to really have to pay health insurance before ACA was out, when the prices was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like really nuts. You know, and then, you know, I remember 2008 trying to pay, you know, health insurance. Well, you know, and this is like right before Obama kind of when the Bushes were in, trying to pay health care and having to pay rent, that being a real conversation. Like I had to come up with some tricks, put my kids on chips and stuff like that. And, you know, I had to get on CareLink. You know what I'm saying? I had to make some decisions. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how bad health care used to be. Now it's at least affordable because now these insurance companies and big pharma can't just poke your eyes out anymore because there's some standards set up. But of course, and it's funny that you say that when you start rolling it back to what they're trying to do by centralizing the government. That's part of Project 2025. They want to take these kind of standards away so they can kind of dictate what they're going to pay us or not and make all these corporations richer, you know, and that's just crazy. And then on top of that, the $35 insulin. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing that's going to be affected. They're going to try to take that away, which, I mean, shoot, I'm a diabetic, and I never messed with insulin. That was never my thing, but I know people that had to pay that, and that was a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So $35 cap on insulin is going to go away. That's going to be affected, too.
Yeah.
But there's other countries where that same insulin is $7.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, it's, you know, it's basically the shell game. And those are things that will affect, affect not just Democrats, but Republicans. And that is the thing, you know, I absolutely believe the Democrats need to do a better job in their messaging, because if you just sat up there and said these things that were going to happen and referenced the page that they conveniently published this thing. So there's actual pages you can go to see where it says, we're going to cut concurrent receipt for veterans. We're going to get rid of the Department of Education. We're going to get rid of all the climate controls and green effort. Everything that they say can be referenced in that 900-page document. And so they can't say, you know, they're deflecting and defending and dodging right now, but it's there and it's written. This is what you said. There's only one meaning to it.
And nobody wrote all that. They ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, and they know that they're probably like me in a long text message. You know, you see 900 pages, I ain't reading that. Like I don't read no long text message.
Yeah, I'm like, give me the bullet points.
Yeah,
and I could understand no abortions, defund the FBI and Homeland Security, cut Medicare, eliminate the Department of Education, eliminate the FDA, EPA, and NOAA.
Yeah.
Deregulate big business and oil, end birthright citizenship, ban contraceptives, eliminate unions and worker protections, end civil rights and DEI protections, end marriage equality, end climate protections, and roll back the recent law banning surprise medical billing. Those are the I call them the lowlights.
Damn.
Those are some lowlights. Those things, something in there affects everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone you know. If it doesn't affect you, it affects somebody. Yeah.
Why they shut down the FDA?
What is the purpose? You just want to give us bad food?
Just bad meat.
Bad food, bad water, bad air.
Ain't nobody checking the meat out before we get it.
Nope. No.
We want to get rid of that. That's a good idea.
It's like taking us back to 1912.
I was going to say,
Exactly.
they taking us back to
No
World
FDA.
War One.
Like,
Well, they actually
we just
want.
dying from food.
They
nigga.
actually want to get rid of the age for children being able to work.
Damn.
I mean, they want to, and that's old school
Same thing.
1800s.
I know they want to take
Industrial
us
Revolution
back.
stuff.
Yeah. They want to take us back, nigga, boy. They want to take us back. You know what
They're
I'm
gonna
saying?
take you back.
We're going to start
And,
riding
hey,
horses again, too? God dang. Shit.
Well, I know where they want to take you back to.
Yeah, I know that. I know they want to take me back, too. That come with a bullet now, though, baby. That ain't
good. Hey,
shit.
they going that's in chapter the
Oh,
next
yeah.
100 pages that they've yet to write.
Yeah. That's the side we don't get. That's the.
Hey,
that's what makes
crazy.
us 1,000 pages. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Dang, they left that part out, man.
Hey,
Shit.
they left that shit out on purpose. But
Damn,
you
the
know,
FDA, man.
at the end of the day, man, look, I don't know, brother. You talked about this already, man. You kind of touched on it going through the I guess this is like the summary of like the 900-page document. I think that's like one of the first few pages of it that
That's
talks
why he's
about
a
all the
doctor.
shit like that. Yeah, so look, that's because he reads.
Yeah.
It's motherfuckers like you don't read. Nigga.
Oh,
you,
nigga,
just, you just live
They'd
off
have lost
life,
me on
nigga.
100 pages.
Page 2, the nigga said, fuck this shit.
Hey, if it was longer than 3 lines, like a text. If it was longer than 3 lines, nigga, I'm not reading that
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Hey,
like,
but
yeah.
call me,
Send-
nigga. Don't
Send it to me in a
That's a
tweet.
call, nigga.
Look.
That's not a text no more. That's a call. Nigga.
Let me
Call
tell you, climate change.
Yeah.
All right, we get trying to get back on track a
Yeah.
little bit. Although we're seeing the effects of climate change right now, real time, like every day we see some crazy shit go down. Candidates couldn't disagree more on whether climate change is real or not, what we should or shouldn't do, whatever the case may be. But like you said, Project 2025 pretty much sums it up, like what they're trying to do. And Harris wants to create legislation to improve the climate, while Trump is calling it a hoax, trying to save money by not doing shit about it, whatever the case may be. So, Dr. Sizer, why is Trump so quick to deny climate change, and how could his denial impact future generations?
Trump is a transactional individual, so he'll go with anything. If there's something in it for him, he's with it. So if big business is saying that they're gonna cut him in some way, he's all for that. He's gonna be for that. If they say they want to drill in the Arctic, and he's gonna get something for it, even if they just pat him on the back, he's gonna be with it. He's not gonna care about anything like that. I mean, at some point you got to remember, people were riding horses in cities, and then somebody came in, they had cars, and you can guarantee that the people with horses was like, man, we don't need these car things over here. They scaring my horses. Mm-hmm. But over time, people were like, well, we got horses. I'm walking in horse shit in the street all day, messing up my nice shoes and my pants.
Getting caught in my ties.
Getting caught, cars are sliding in it, sliding into the fruit carts. So, then they start saying, okay, no, we're not going to have horses. And eventually that went up to say, hey, keep horses out the city. Yeah. And that was fine where it was at. And you had cars. Then you had in the 50s, you had big business come along and get together. It was GM, a couple of the oil companies, and a couple large manufacturers got together to get rid of trolley cars, because they wanted to be able to make more money, and so they got together, got legislation passed that prevented that prohibited the expansion of the public mass transportation in these cities, and so now you're in a situation where you got buses, you making all this money because now you got buses, you're not using the electricity on the cars and everything. So they were making money. It was a concerted effort. They say it was a conspiracy, but I've seen a couple a couple documentaries on it where they were saying, "No, this actually happened," and look how folks benefited. Look at the explosion of the auto industry. Look how people, and you look and you say, a lot of cities could have been probably better off if they still had a trolley system versus just a bus. Oil benefited. So all those industries made money from that particular situation. So that's a situation Trump would be all for. Yeah. If there's a way for him to get money, if he could put a hotel at that bus stop, he's gonna say absolutely, or cut me in. Yeah. Make a Trump mobile.
So I do want to touch on that, man, that you said. It's a great point. I mean, like, at the end of the day, when we look at politics, they run by people with money, big business, all day, every day. To your point about, like, the cars and stuff, like, there were people in, like, the horse industry, whether they were people who were blacksmiths, who were doing the horseshoes, whether it was people who build carriages for your horses, whether it was people who, like, cleaned up the shit and the piss in the streets. All of them people wanted horses to stay around. None of them wanted cars to come because it took away their money, right? And there were companies that were against it that would slander them, just like they slander electric cars today. Just like the oil companies say, "Oh, you're going to run out of gas somewhere. You're going to run out of power somewhere and be on the side of the road because you ain't got a charger," or whatever. Like, they're going to keep coming up with ways to try to get you to be against it. Like, even like back in the day when electricity came out, people who made oil lamps. Everybody's house had oil lamps. And the same motherfuckers he was just talking about a minute ago was like, "No, electricity is dangerous. It's going to kill you. It's going to do this. It's going to do that." But we moved from oil lamps to electricity. We move because of effectiveness and efficiency. And at some point we say, this is just better. Fuck. Let's move the fuck on. But motherfuckers will always try to hold, like, think about this, people. There's people in power right now, Standard Oil companies out there. They want to stay in power. They don't want their business to go away. And if Trump gets money for drilling or whatever, guess what he gonna do? He gonna take that money. Quick comment before you, Ace. Preston on YouTube says Trump's a moron and he'll say anything. So that's why, basically,
he's correct.
Like you, Preston, already.
And Walanda is online. What's up, babe? She says progress is necessary. Definitely.
It is.
Ace.
Yeah, it's funny when you started talking about that, Dr. Sizer. It took me back to the times. I don't know if you remember the monopoly busters back in the early part of the century. It sounds like they're taking us back to all of that with everything that they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Consolidate. Like, you have a few people or families with all the power.
Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Fords. Back when they had it, and they had to come up with all these laws that say, "Hey, look, we can't have these monopolies," because you guys are just gonna get rich. I mean, we look at the thing now back in the past, like Annie and all those stories when they had the kids were like really, really poor and people were really, really rich, and it was no middle class pretty much. And it sounds like that's what they're kind of trying to go back to with Project 2025 and rolling it into what you're talking about with all these corporations saying, "Hey, you know what? We don't like this. Let's go against that. And let's keep it to where we can monopolize all the money." So that's crazy. But I was just thinking, because you said EPA and the FDA, right? EPA is the environment, you know what I'm saying? So that's parks and everything. FDA is food. Shit, I don't want to be in no picnic when they pass 2025. We're going to have fucked up parks.
You don't want that potato salad, do you?
And we have fucked up food. You know what I'm saying? The picnic's going to be horrible. Don't invite me to the cookout.
And the water.
Yeah.
Water's good. But, back to your point about the climate, in Obama's administration, they pushed for solar. So he was pushing for trying to transform a lot of our energy to get us off the dependency on oil, those sorts of things, electricity. So he pushed for solar panels. So at that time, we were leading the world in the production and design and manufacturing of solar panels. Well, during his administration, through the actions of the Republicans, that slowly eroded away. You know, they didn't want to fund it. They did everything to be obstructionist versus trying to help to push the industry forward. Well, now we end up having to go get our solar panels from China because they sold them the technology. Now China's manufacturing them, and all of a sudden now people are saying, you know what? We need solar panels. So we get our solar panels from China when we used to make them here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I saw a documentary about China and just kind of how advanced, like when you look at their cities,
Yeah.
and it looks like some shit off of like a science fiction
Blade
movie.
Runner, nigga.
It's like
Shit look like Blade Runner.
That's now and shit. Like,
Yeah, that
that's
shit look
China,
like Blade
you know what I'm
Runner,
saying?
nigga. I'm telling you.
And it's just funny how our government has done what they can do just for the sake of keeping a couple of dollars here and there to keep us from being, you know, ahead in infrastructure like that. Like they got trains that run upside down and shit and all kinds of stuff. Just the technology is crazy. Looks like I said. I was looking at it. It was nuts.
Speaking of saving money, let's talk about taxes because that's a thing that I fucking hate the most. And Kamala needs to get up in there and help us out with these taxes. So while most middle class Americans pay taxes every year, most if not all of the 1% enjoy paying little to no taxes every year. And the large corporations, you know, they get away with motherfucking murder. They operate in a way that helps them enjoy large tax breaks where they could just do something and next thing you know, they ain't paying no damn taxes. So Ace, how will Harris's administration help the middle class pay less taxes while holding the 1% and the large corporations accountable to pay their fair share?
They're going to pass legislation that's going to require them to pay the taxes that they're due to pay their fair share. You know what I'm saying? The legislation is going to come out that's going to do that. But one big thing that Trump is talking about is cutting the corporate tax. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did the last time. It's one thing that he did accomplish. Well, she's not going to do that because she's going to make these corporations pay what they need to pay, and they're going to also hold accountable. I don't know what the number is. It used to be if you're making over $100,000 a year, or I don't know if it's $150,000 now. But if you're over that tax bracket now, you're not. You know, it's usually when the Republicans come in, you get a big tax break. They're going to keep it there. Then they'll raise the tax break on people who are under there to make them pay that. So she's going to make sure that all that stays even, so they pay their fair share.
Well, this is when people are saying "Make America Great Again." I envision you, and you ask them when was it great, and great for who? Oftentimes they go back to the 50s and Leave It to Beaver and all that, and it's like, okay, so the tax rate was probably like 50%. So yeah, you could afford to have street lights on every street. You had 2 police in every cop car. You didn't pay for if in school you didn't pay for you just went on your school trips. You didn't pay for anything. You went there. Lunch was probably free, or those things came. That was when America was great, but the tax rate was 50%. That's, you can't pick and choose what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't go say, oh yeah, that was great, and but I don't want to do this. I don't want to pay taxes, but I want to live like we paid this 50%, and yeah, when America was great, there was also different rules for different communities or people in the country too. So you didn't have to worry about. Sure, there was a job for you, but maybe there was a better qualified person or more intelligent individual that didn't get the job based on their race.
Yeah,
but
or gender. You know what I'm saying?
Or gender.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I always point to people when they say "Make America Great Again." They talk about the 50s. I say, man, go look at Grease or Happy Days. Any of these shows that was in the 50s. No black people in it. You know what I'm saying? None.
You know
whatsoever.
what I'm saying? Hey, they was mad when Star Wars had a black guy in it.
Yeah,
like, damn, we can't even be in the
His
future.
face.
What'd y'all do with us?
But hey, the 50s was not great for black people. Hell, that's when Martin Luther King did his hardest trumping in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? 55. He was, one time I took a trip just driving through the South, man, going to North Carolina, from Texas, North Carolina. I drove all through Alabama and everything, and I thought about it. I say, man, Martin Luther King was driving through this, no air conditioning in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? Like,
In a suit.
Yeah, in a suit.
Scared shitless.
Trying to march for civil rights. And nobody down here liked him. You know what I'm saying? I stopped in Alabama, like at the gas station, was scared. You know what I'm saying? Like at the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? So I imagine him doing that in the 50s. Like, stop saying "Make America Great Again" to black people, like, when was it great? We're gonna always say that because you know what? The 50s definitely wasn't great for us. 60s, 70s, school busing. I was born in the 70s. 80s, we was around, but Reaganomics sucked. Still to this day, y'all trying to do trickle down economics. It don't work, you know.
Well,
and then we're where we're at right now, man.
Let me put it to you like this, man. The further we roll back the clock, the worse it was for us.
Yes.
It's that fucking simple.
Yeah.
It's that fucking simple. But what's happening is we got Barack. People wanted some things to happen under Barack that didn't happen. He was America's president. He said that that's what he's going to be. Now that we see all the shit that's happening with the Republicans and what they trying to do, maybe we get a black person in there again and they like, you know what? Y'all ain't holding back. I ain't fucking holding back.
I guarantee you, if you ask Barack Obama in a private conversation, if he knew that Donald Trump was going to come and do the things he did, what he would have did different. I guarantee he'd have been black, 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 black.